Today, I'm gonna show you how to take any boxed pancake mix and turn them into healthy, high protein, macro-friendly pancakes. We're gonna make a whole batch of them and you can meal prep them and leave them in your freezer. So anytime you want pancakes, you'll have them ready. And we're making Oreo pancakes, not plain ones. They're gonna be super fluffy, super high in protein, and they only require a few ingredients to make. The first thing you need is any boxed pancake mix. They're all gonna be very similar in terms of nutrition facts. They're all gonna be mainly carbs, 130-ish calories per serving. Not a lot of protein, not a lot of fat, but that's where I come in. Because Jack doesn't care about your calories, Jack doesn't care about your protein, but I do. Get a food scale and get yourself a bowl. And then add in 120 grams of your pancake mix. This does not have a lot of protein in it. It's just to get the right consistency for the pancakes and make them fluffy. But we got protein powder. We used exactly 120 grams of pancake mix, and we're gonna use half of that of protein powder. You cannot just use one of these. You can't just use whey, you can't just use casein. They bake completely differently, they cook completely differently. We need 30 grams of both, equal amounts. The reason is because if you just use whey, these are dry, rubbery. They will require you to chew and use so much saliva to get moisture into the pancakes just to get them down. It's not gonna be good. If you just use casein, they're not gonna rise. They're gonna be flat, little super moist, I'm sorry I said the word, pucks that have so much liquid but just no rise. They're not gonna taste like a pancake, they're just gonna taste like a wet sloppy disc. So you don't want either of those. But if you use equal amounts of both, half whey, half casein, you get the rise and the fluffiness from whey, but you get the moisture absorbency of casein to get these thick and dense. Going with 30 grams of casein, and then 30 grams of whey. I'm using chocolate just because I want to. You could use any flavor you want. Casein and whey bake completely differently. It's such a fine powder, it barely sticks to your fingers. Casein is more like flour. It absorbs more liquid and it really gets powdery and messy. This is black cocoa powder. It does not taste like regular cocoa powder. Regular cocoa powder is chocolatey and bitter. Black cocoa powder is not like this. It tastes like an Oreo. I literally call it Oreo powder. It's not very chocolatey, but it's also not very bitter. It gives you that deep, dark black color that Oreos have without adding a ton of chocolate flavor into the pancakes. And that's why these are gonna taste like Oreo pancakes. It's because of this ingredient, you really need it. If you replace this with cocoa powder, they're just gonna be more chocolatey and less Oreo flavored. We need 40 grams of this. It's gonna add a lot of color, make these super dark. I love black cocoa powder. Do you see the color difference between this and just natural cocoa powder? It's literally a completely different color. It's way lighter in brown. I like peanut butter more than anyone else in this world, so we're gonna add powdered peanut butter into this recipe. The reason why I love this stuff so freaking much is because no one in this world loves peanut butter more than I do. But also, this is literally peanut butter, this stuff, without the oil, without the fat. If you're trying to make this, and instead of making this, you take all the oil in the factory and send it off, you're left with powder. Protein powder, essentially. If you sub this for regular peanut butter, you're gonna save so many calories because this has only 50 calories per serving. Regular peanut butter has 180 or 200. Also, almost 50% of this is straight up protein because there's 4 calories per gram of protein and there's 6 grams of protein per serving. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 out of the 50 calories are coming from straight up protein. This is basically half protein. We need another 40 grams of this, same amount as the cocoa powder, and then some baking powder, some baking soda, a fat pinch of salt. I'm gonna go a little more. I like salty pancakes. And when I say salty, I mean not actually salty. I just wanna use as much salt as possible without this tasting salty, and that's just gonna enhance all the flavors. And then 6 packets of sweetener. You can use less or more depending on how sweet your protein powder is. I like 6. And you can use any sweetener you want in this recipe. You don't have to use packets of sweetener if you don't want to. It really doesn't matter. But these are easy. Give all of this a really good mix right now. You want all the dry ingredients in one powder so that there's no clumping. We need to crack 6 eggs for this recipe, and we don't need any of the yolks. We just need the whites. Please do not yell at me because I'm not wasting the yolk, I promise. It's going down my garbage disposal. Cracking eggs is so freaking hard. It literally is one of the worst parts of cooking in my opinion. This and peeling vegetables. I don't like either of them. Now to the egg whites, even more proteins going in. 120 grams of Greek yogurt. And then whisk this up really well. Now add all of this in, and it's not gonna be enough. We're gonna need water, but we don't wanna add it yet. Let's start mixing this. Slowly mix this up. You don't wanna overmix because there's flour in it, but be patient. Just keep mixing. Add in some water. I already added some, but the camera wasn't on, it didn't film. But I need to add more anyway. I have to. This batter is so good. Let's cook it up. I let this batter sit for 5 more minutes, and it's thickened up real nice. Put this on a 5 out of 10 heat. Spray a pan with some oil spray, and add in 1/10 of your batter. Around 75 grams. And then shake the pan to spread it out and let it just sit there and cook until some air bubbles come on this side. After 3 minutes, you see those bubbles that are forming right there? Yeah, it's time to flip. Ooh, look how fluffy that is. You see those paper towels? Those are there so that when this is done cooking, I can put it over there. If you put it on a glass plate or anything like that, it's gonna steam up from the bottom and get soggy. We don't want that. The paper towels will absorb the moisture. This is done cooking when it slides off. Oh, oh no! Get back on there. This nonstick pan is the best. Nothing sticks to it. Rinse and repeat. My pancakes are resting. Let them cool for a little bit. I made 12 pancakes and they're just sitting on the paper towel right now. After letting these cool for 20 minutes, they are not hot at all. They're room temperature, and look, they're fluffy, they're thick, they're so good. We're gonna freeze them. Leave these in until these are frozen. It's gonna take 30 minutes to an hour. We wanna do this so that each individual pancake freezes separately. These are frozen. You know how I know? Let's vacuum seal these so they're ready to be stored in your freezer. Food goes bad when air and moisture gets into your food, so in order to keep these pancakes fresh for a really long time in our freezer, we're gonna be using ZWILLING's Fresh and Safe vacuum sealed bags. Since all the pancakes have been frozen, there's a layer of ice crystals that have formed around them, which is gonna prevent them from sticking when we seal them up in the vacuum seal bags. So just slide them all in. What's great about vacuum sealing food is it stays fresher for up to 5 times as long. And I cannot stand freezer burn. It is so annoying, and everything in my freezer gets a layer of ice around it. When I use these bags, that doesn't happen. There's even smaller size bags if you don't want to fit as much in. So I'm gonna put most of the pancakes in the big bag and a couple in the small bag. And then you just seal these bags up. And make sure you press this tightly. And look, there's a lot of air in here, but watch this. The pump comes into play. Pop bottom, this right here gets attached to this red circle right here. You just press this button, and it gets vacuum sealed. And it stops automatically, just wait, there we go. I've seen other vacuum seal bags before. When you're ready to eat the food, you literally have to tear the bag open with a knife or scissors, and you can't reuse the bag. The reason this is so great is because you take out the food you want, and then you pump it right back up and put it right back in your freezer. These bags are reusable, it's awesome. The exact product I'm using is this ZWILLING Fresh and Safe vacuum starter set. It comes with 1 medium and 1 large vacuum container, 2 small and 2 medium vacuum bags, and 1 rechargeable vacuum pump. Use code RAHUL, and you'll get a free small lunchbox with a purchase of this Fresh and Safe 7-piece starter set. I'll leave a link to this in the description so you can check it out. Thank you to ZWILLING for sponsoring this video. It's so soft, it's so fluffy. Look at that. That syrup is dripping. Each pancake is 90 calories and 10 grams of protein. That means 2 pancakes are 180 calories and 20 grams of protein. Those are better macros than most protein bars. So anytime you feel like having a protein bar in your home, just pop 2 pancakes out of your freezer, throw them in the microwave for like 30 seconds, and you're good to go. I need to get that syrup, baby. It's so soft, it's so fluffy. Check out my cookbook, link in the description. It has over 100 recipes and I'm constantly updating it, so when you buy it once, you get all future updates for free. The syrup, oh wait, hold up. It's the best. I could just drink it, but the pancakes soak it up and it's even better. Do a smiley face. What kind of eye is that? Bro, what kind of smiley face is this? Nice, abstract.